Welcome to another TV with the brand new Samsung Galaxy Alpha, which was announced just a few months ago here in Berlin at the IFA. This is one of the most beautiful smartphones in the world because, or actually also made by Samsung, we have a metal border now all around, and it's also one of the fastest right now out there because we have an octa-core processor with quite fast specs. There's a 4 cores with 2.3 GHz and 4 cores with 1.3 GHz, and actually, sorry, it's 1.8 and 1.3, and it's the Samsung processor, the 5430 Exynos 5 Octa. So that's really quite nice. The weight is also only 115 grams with the battery inside, which is 1860 milliamps big, and we will also show you guys the battery in just a second. Before, we have here a 2.1 megapixel camera. In the back there's a 2 megapixel camera which can shoot 4K videos, which is also again quite nice. With 30 frames per second you can shoot 1080p videos with 60 frames and also 720p videos with 120 frames, which is again nice. Otherwise, the GPU is a Mali T628. We will play also some games on this in our review here and also compare it with some other flagships by other companies like Apple, BlackBerry, HTC, and so on. Otherwise, here on the side we have the on and off switch. On this other side, the volume rocker. On the bottom you can see here the micro USB port microphone and speaker. And on top there is the 3.5mm headphone jack and another microphone hole. There's no infrared, which I miss a little bit. On the back we have here next to the camera the flash and the heart rate sensor, which you already know from the S5, the Samsung logo, and you can take off the back cover by opening it up right here. And again, we have here this really flexible plastic back cover. Here's a battery which is removable, and also the nano SIM card slot. There's no micro SD card slot here, so you cannot expand the battery. You cannot expand the internal 32 gig of space, and it's only available with 32 gigs of internal space, so that's a little bit sad. Otherwise, we have the latest Android 4.4.4 installed, which is still KitKat, not Lollipop, and this is not waterproof, but we have here a fingerprint reader in the front, so you can swipe your finger over it, which is also quite nice. It's only 6.7 millimeters thin, so really thin, but I'm not sure if they checked it here in the middle or on the side. Otherwise, the display with the 4.7 inches has a quite high resolution of 1280 x 720 pixels, which is almost Retina. It's 312 pixels per inch, if you would calculate that from that resolution and the size of the screen. And the screen is protected with the latest Gorilla Glass 4, which is really quite nice because we have therefore the most scratch-proof glass on here, which doesn't mean too much actually, because the Note 4 has it also and already have some scratches on this one, so that's a little bit sad, and I never keep my keys next to the phone, so it's not because of that. Otherwise, hardware-wise, we have of course all the wireless standards inside, AGPS, GLONASS, Bluetooth 4.0 version with the low energy EDR and A2DP. Also the Wi-Fi is not only ABGN but also AC and dual band, so the fastest Wi-Fi is also built in with 2 antennas. We have 50 gigs of free Dropbox space, so you can see the Dropbox logo right here, so you can use 50 gigs for 2 years for free. Also HDMI 5 is compatible here with the phone, and so on and so on. So the only bad thing is that we don't have infrared and actually only 2 gigs of RAM and no micro SD slot. Otherwise, it could be the perfect phone, as you will see when we use it a little bit. So software-wise, you can see that these are all the apps that are pre-installed. Here a little bit by Samsung, a little bit by Google. S-Health helps you, for example, to keep track of your steps and your heart rate if you check it regularly. Otherwise, you have the Play Newsstand and so on here that are regulars. The Dropbox, Flipboard, Zalando, here these apps are pre-installed here also in Germany. Some websites. Otherwise, I just installed Temple Run, N22 and BB Racing. So N22, you will see that this device got a quite high rating, 49,000, which is really amazingly fast. As you will see when we here go into ranking to the bar chart, it's on the top of the list, even faster than the Note 4. The Note 4 is a little bit slower because we have a quite high display resolution and the Qualcomm processor can't be that fast yet. The only faster device than this one I've seen till now is the Nexus 9 with the NVIDIA Tegra K1 processor. So enough about that. Also, we have, of course, the home button here and the last apps. We can, for example, close some of these, and the back button here, so you can easily get around here in Android and you don't waste any space with these buttons on the screen itself. So let's dive a little bit around here, for example, with the camera. So we have here the back camera, which is amazing how good the colors are, because you can see here my regular camera set up 4K video. I'm shooting it with the GH4, which is quite an expensive camera and with a really expensive lens right now. And the Samsung can shoot it almost with the same quality in terms of colors, for example. So if you just check out the picture I just shot, you can see really a lot of details, for example, here on the table. And you could zoom in also here and almost read what it says here on the Lego figure. But I have, of course, a lot more pictures I shot before. Like, for example, this one is, as I said, not waterproof, but I took it with me to shoot the video of the Moto 360, which is waterproof. And you can just zoom in here, and even with some shaky hand, I took a pretty nice picture where you can read email, for example, if you would want it, here on this little tiny screen right there with the 12 megapixels that are built in here. This is my setup actually right now. And yeah, you can see I shot quite a few videos, and this is one of my favorites because you can read clearly here that it says Lego on this Lego. If you go quite close, and that's really a tiny detail here, and of course my name, but you write it with a Z as usually, that's not my fault there. So enough about that, let's go back to the camera and let's turn it around. Where we have the beauty face option right now, which means that my wrinkles are a little bit gone here. You could also zoom in, but of course that, or actually you can't in beauty face as it seems, but yeah, you won't get as many details then, and it's really fast. And what's actually more important is that you have a lot of space here left and right, so I could just shoot easily selfies with a lot of people now here in the picture. And also you get all kinds of details out of the 2 megapixels camera also, because if you check here the front camera, you can still read Lumix, for example, here on my camera, which is also again a tiny detail here in the picture. If you look at it, it's really a small little thing here, and the light is going away right now because it's after 4 p.m. and it's winter here in Munich. So enough about the camera, let's see a little bit what else we can do. Like, for example, browsing the web is quite easy. I was searching yesterday for BlackBerry Classic, or actually bold pictures. You can open up a new tab here easily and visit, for example, Wikipedia, and the keyboard is also alright, but I still love the regular keyboard better by Google. Flipping the screen is also alright in speed, a little bit slow sometimes, or it just takes a little bit till it realizes that I flipped the screen, but otherwise I'm fine here with the device as fast as it is. There's all kinds of animations built in. A lot of people don't like touch with my Samsung. I'm one of them, but I'm using for the Note 4 for 2 months now, and you can get used to it, but you won't love it. So let's play a little bit some games, and then we will compare it with some flagship phones, like for example the Apple iPhone 5S, because I think design-wise that's the one that comes closest. Then we have here a Lumia 830, a Kazam 348, and Note 4, and the BlackBerry Classic, and so on here. So there's quite a few still things to show you guys in terms of comparison. But let's play a little bit first so you guys can see that the performance is really as good as Antutu told us. But you are already able to see that the game doesn't need to load long. It goes quite quickly here into gaming mode. And yeah, Temple Run is, with more than 100 million downloads, one of the most popular games on Android. I don't like to do Angry Birds anymore because I think this is graphically a little bit more challenging. Not the most challenging, but I think it's enough. And again, for everybody out there that thinks the screen has not a high enough resolution, it is high enough. You don't need Full HD under 5 inches, that's my opinion. But my opinion is also I played enough and let's just die. So I would just jump off the cliff here and go out of the game and just open up here BB Racing, and let's do a little bit of racing. There you will see also that the 2 GB of RAM are quite good because it loads quite quickly, and it's really light. 115 grams is a little bit light, really light for actually a 4.7 inch device, if you ask me. I'm still here in the tutorial phase, you could say. One thing I also don't like very much on the Samsung is that it still only has one headphone speaker here on the front, and the other speaker is here on the bottom, and it's just a single, so mono speaker. So nothing special. There you can see here this beach buggy ride thing game is also alright in terms of graphics. It's, yeah, doesn't stutter and nothing, and everything looks quite good. Especially if I go a little bit here close to the water, you will see that on the screen it looks quite okay. So enough about that. Let's just, as I said, compare a little bit here with some devices. Let's start off with the BlackBerry Classic, which is a non-Android device. Beautiful smartphone here, both price-wise about the same. Now they are both $400. The Samsung started off with 600 to 700, but now it's a little bit cheaper after 2 months. And you can see how beautiful both devices are. But in terms of thickness, of course, Samsung wins, but the battery is a lot smaller and it won't last, of course, as long. Then I have a cheaper one by Huawei, the Huawei Honor 6. Also quite good device, but $300. Full HD 5-inch screen, a lot thicker, no metal at all plastic. And the camera is also not as good, but also really quite good. Then we have here the Kazam 348, which is one of the slimmest smartphones in the world with 5.15 millimeters in thickness. But the battery, again, here only 2000 milliamps and an HD 5-inch screen. Could be better. But also just a beautiful phone. Looks a little bit like an iPhone. Talking about iPhones, that one will be the last here, the iPhone 5S. I don't have a 6 right now, so you guys can see here that we have here the Lumia 830, which is with $300 wireless charging, Windows Phone, and also beautiful design with metal everything, all around quite good looking. And it's hard to challenge. It doesn't shoot 4K videos, but it's only 300 MSRP, not 700, even though both are selling for 300 now, or this is actually a 400. And then we have the iPhone 5S, but again, right now $400 if you would buy it from somebody new or used, so about the same price, but of course smaller, thinner, well actually not thinner, it's thicker, but the battery is about the same size, but due to the smaller screen, probably the Samsung won't last as long. So, thank you much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe. My name is Balazs. This is the Note 4 actually. Don't forget that one. Design-wise, there's a lot of similarities. Till next time, please and again. Don't forget to subscribe, as I said before. Thank you much for watching. And this was, of course, here a tech video with the Samsung Galaxy Alpha smartphone.